Well, acting is more than just memorizing lines. It's about bringing emotions to life. And on Glitters of Life podcast, we not just cover what humans can do, but how. And today on this particular episode, we have got a very special guest on the show. She's Suzanne Bernert, a German actress in Indian film and television industry. And we are going to uncover her craft and her experience into the industry. We fondly recall her from her role of Sonia Gandhi in the Accidental Prime Minister. So you all can relate to her journey through that as well. Sonia, welcome on. Suzanne, welcome on the show.
नमस्ते, आप लोग कैसे हैं? थैंक्स फॉर द इनविटेशन। खुशी की बात है मैं आपके साथ अभी बातचीत कर सकती हूँ।
बिल्कुल। देखो वो इतना ये था कि लाइक आई वेंट इनटू योर रोल ऑफ सोनिया एंड आई इंट्रोड्यूस्ड यू एज सोनिया, सो दैट इज हाउ द इम्पैक्ट दैट यू हैव क्रिएटेड.
Yes,
So
yes.
would love to know, like, as I can say, like, you have been the German actress into the Indian television and film industry. So how has your perspective on life changed since moving to India?
If you're 20 years in a country, you automatically get inspired and influenced by people around you. And my late husband was a very quiet person, a very thoughtful person, very passionate about acting, and I learned a lot from him about the country, about the cultures, especially 2020. I think 2020, a lot of people turned inwards and came out in a different way outwards because so much happened in that time and we had a lot of time. So a lot of people turned towards YouTube. ये सीखना पड़ेगा, ये पूछना पड़ेगा, ये क्या हो रहा है पॉलिटिक्स में, हमारे इतिहास के बारे में इतने झूठे झूठे हैं हर जगह पे. So to get all this out of the system, I think 2020 happened for India just to turn inwards.
Right. So that's so good to know, because every now and then the perspective changes. We have to understand like how people will react to those perspectives, how life changes, and again, like getting attached to the culture, getting attached to the work that you are doing. It's obviously great, because then you are able to pour your heart into it, because it makes you earn as well. It gives you the recognition into the industry. So good to know that. And what was
A
your
lot of
first experience?
one second, a lot of characters also they had like to do certain things like Gayatri Mantra. Then Akil used to take the Gita and just take, like, he had actually three, and he tried to find out the most genuine and also a little bit basic, so I will be able to do it because that was just right in the beginning, and that is like a step up from normal. मैं tie लेकर आती हूँ और these sentences that you do in South Home serials. So I learned a lot while working. A lot of things came to me in playing certain characters. So especially अभी ये हिंदी में अभी इस्तेमाल कर सकती हूँ. This is from Queen Helena of Ashok. So
Right.
otherwise this wouldn't have happened this way. So a lot of characters came together, and my life has been I have abandoned myself to what Bharat wants me to learn and where I'm going, because जो plans मैं कर रही हूँ, forget them. They're not happening.
Right. And like you must be really feeling happy that you are in India and you have been able to learn all of this, because it's a very different culture with the rich cultural heritage. And it just prepares you for the different experiences in terms of characters as well, because we have got a bright history as well. It has been written about that thing. So good to know that. And what was your experience like on the working on the Indian set? Because it has been a kind of a roller coaster, might be like while starting. So would love to know that as well.
Every set is different. Every set has its own rhythm, and you have to always look where you are and what's happening around you. But a fun story right from the beginning. There's a production house called DJs, Tony
Yeah.
and Dia Singh. So Akhil used to work with them. They met me a couple of times, and suddenly they said they want to cast me in a character. So that was Jeet Hai Jiske Liye. Renuka Sahane played the
Yeah.
lead character in this. And I was supposed to play a jailer, and the name was Polina. So I came the first day on the set, and there was like the production controller and whole hangama. Like usually you come on a set, there are people running like mad, especially in the morning. Everywhere something is going bang, boom, bam, and somebody shouts, chilla, chilla, rahe hai. Yeah, tum kya kar rahe ho? So this is going on. So in all this urgent, I'm coming, and there's this guy standing there, and I introduce myself, and I say, I play Paulina. And he just looked at me, he said, you go there. I'm
Okay.
like, okay, what? You go there. So, ठीक है, just Akhil was with me. So we were just walking towards the room that he had pointed out. I opened the door, and it was literally. I feel a little sad about it. There were literally like 15 foreigners squeezed into very small room. I don't know anybody has seen a makeup room or not, but they're not really big. They're usually for 2, 3 people,
Yes.
maximum 4 people. And they were all like squashed inside. And I went back to him and I said, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "You go there." And I was like, "Nee, can I talk to your boss?" So something like this. And Akhil also jumped in. And then this higher guy came, production controller, or yeah. So he was saying, "You, Colina, that's impossible." And I said, "Why don't you call your bosses, Tony and Dia Singh, and you ask them who's playing Paulina?" And because I said the name, he was already like, "Oh, okay, okay, okay." So I got a normal room and I got my uniform and I started prepping on the text, on the lines. Because you don't get the script before, you
Yeah.
get the script on garam garam. Jo bhi ho, you don't get the script before, you always get it on the set. Anil Basmi, he also did that to me in South Africa. So these kinds of things happen, and got ready, came on the set, and all everybody's looking at me because that was 2008, I think, and they haven't seen a foreigner in a TV show. Not really. Even though I've done Balaji, I was the first Firangi Bahu in Kasotis in the Geeky, but Pilvi, they were all like skeptical. So I'm standing there, I'm not getting a chair, I'm not getting any water. I'm just standing there waiting for my scene. Director is nice. He's talking to me. We're having a nice conversation. Renuka is coming. We're saying hi. So we're having the first scene where she's sitting uh, in jail, and she's sitting on a chair, and I have my woot in front of her, like on the chair, and I'm yelling at her, "Dilho, yeah, why?" I don't remember. So I was really aggressive with her. And then the director says, "Cut." And I'm like frozen. I mean, the scene was ending, the scene was over, we had no lines anymore, and no cut was coming. That was the problem. And she's looking at me, I'm looking at her, like, "Are we done? Have we forgotten something?" She's like, "No, I don't know what's going on." And then he suddenly said, "Cut." And I came out and everybody, "Madam Kursi, Madam Chai, Madam Ye, Madam Wo." So that's the effect of good acting. I don't want to like praise myself, but if you come on a set and you're an actor and you nail a scene, then everybody will just like be there for you. And that's an amazing feeling.
Wow. Such a great story to narrate, and like your experience has been great. So were there any kind of like did you have a kind of family background into acting, or like you are the lone person who got into acting?
If you don't count my grandparents on my mom's side who were like into singing and doing like local stage, like they're doing here, you do some natak somewhere as in a village. They were doing that. But I was the first one, and my parents said that apparently I said from the age of 4, मैं actress बनना चाहती हूँ. Yeah, like could hardly speak, but said that. So as I from then onwards, they were helping me, they were nurturing this, they were always trying for opportunities where I could dance or perform or do something. So I had like in Carnival, another nice story. I
Okay.
was. Do you know what carnival is? Like
Yeah,
in
sort of.
carnival, where you are putting on a costume like in Halloween, and you're
Yeah.
goofing around. And then there's the hall where you maybe pay an entry, and then you have like meet your friends, have fun, play games, and that's the story behind it. And my parents got me in to be able to perform in one of those places. I mean, later it became more and more, but in the beginning it was one place. So the guy said, "Where are the rest of you?" When I was on stage, I said, "I'm dancing alone." They were like, "What are you doing? You're dancing alone?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was 14. So I was on stage and performing Time of My Life with from Dirty Dancing. That was a hit at that time. So I performed that and another song. And then there were 500 people in the audience, and they didn't let me go. One more, one more, one more. And the guys in backstage, they were like, "What is going on? Well, who is she? What's going on?" So that's how I started performing and being on stage and feeling comfortable with that.
Amazing. So interesting to know. But each and every incident of acting and the characters that you play brings in a very different like energy and the role that you are playing, because it changes you as a person as well, because we start understanding how to play those role, what impact it is going to have on your life as well. So it's
I had a
great.
very interesting encounter today. A friend of mine was meeting me, Chikti Sinha, and she's the daughter of Shashi Sinha, who's my manager. And she said that a lot of the people are superficial. They're interested in the glamour and the glitter and just that. And I said, I want to touch people. When I talk, I want them to make cry or laugh or feel an emotion. For me, acting was always like let me give something to people in the form of entertainment.
Right. So true. बहुत कम लोग ऐसे सोचते हैं because all they feel is that once you're on a screen you just have to like play with the character. Once you're done you just have to live a normal life, like you are a celebrity, you are a star, so you don't have to pay attention to the audience, and it's the audience that makes you. So we just have to remember this
Yes,
very fact as
yes,
well.
yes, yes, yes. When Akhil passed away, the audience helped me. There were so many people who pulled away, who didn't want to have anything to do with me anymore. I was dropped by a lot of people that I thought they were friends or at least acquaintances. But the love that I got online, that
Yeah.
people were writing to me, he will be permanent forever.
Right. It's great, like, because these are the faces we have to like face those faces, and then we just have to get over with it. And while working into the Indian industry, like, were there any kind of stereotypes that you had to personally fight with?
I had this conversation with Kushal Mehra some time back. He also has a YouTube channel. And this was funny. When I saw your question, I was remembering what I was saying there. And I think that it always depends who you're working with,
Okay.
what kind of production house you're working with, what kind of people are there, have they traveled, have they been out of the country, do they know things, how they see the world is reflecting in the stories that they're telling. So I don't want to like generalize it, but I guess so, yes. Even though I had the luck to get very diversified characters. I'm all over the place. I play a queen here and a policewoman there and a cookbook author in a Marathi movie. Then I do Launi. Then I go and play Sonia Gandhi. Then I'm going. So it's like my life has been really blessed. I've done regional movies, Marathi movies. I've seen parts of Maharashtra I would have not seen. I met people that I would not seen. It's amazing. And also shooting abroad and then working with Aparna Sen when I thought that phone call came that somebody's joking with me. I thought
Right.
it's a prank. मुझे भी नहीं लगता ये असली है. तो उन्होंने phone pick up किया. हाँ Suzanne, I'm very sure I want to work with you. I'm like, oh, so that was my Bengali experience. Like
Right.
I met wonderful people and I met equally horrible superficial people. I think it's just that it's more intense because you're acting and you're working together and you're seeing each other every day, and then these things tend to become very close, and then you see sides of people that otherwise they can hide
Yeah.
in
So
front of the world.
is it like you get lucky on times, or like you have something like you will check before signing that particular project, or how is it?
Mm. No, nothing like that. In just in hindsight, I figured, oh, it's always a Tuesday. The first time I came to India, it was a Tuesday in 2004. It was a Tuesday when I shifted here forever, or to try my luck at least on 1st of November this year. It's going to be 20 years this year that I'm in this
Yeah.
country and in this industry. And my first Balaji contract Tuesday, the next Balaji contract Tuesday. So Tuesday is a kind of a day that is usually lucky for me.
Great to know that. And I'm wishing that you'll be staying lucky as well, and more Tuesdays will be coming in your favor as well, Suzanne.
I connected this with Ganesh as well. So I'm very fond of Ganeshi. And I
Yeah.
love that in the industry that before every day, before every shoot, there's puja happening and
Yeah.
Ganesh is sitting there in one of the red plastic chairs. If anybody's interested, can check out a really fun, nice, sweet interview, like a video of on my own channel about the experience that I shot for Radha Mohan. I played a
Okay.
kidnapper and there's a plane involved and everything. That was a fun thing to do. That was really, I love that. Playing baddies is more fun than playing goodies, by the way.
Interesting perspective. I'm just loving this
No, no, it is.
conversation.
And always the nice people play the bad people. Yeah, Prem Chopra is a darling.
Yeah.
A lot of people who play baddies on screen, they're usually they're in life really nice people.
Exactly. That is how the industry works as well. And there are awesome people out there who have been like doing great with their own talent as well. And we remember them for ages. So, coming back to this conversation on the movie that I was talking earlier, The Accidental Prime Minister. So some critics claim that the movie was a propaganda. Like, how do you, as
Hmm.
an artist, separate yourself from the political implications of such narratives? Because it's quite hard to comment. It's quite hard to like play that particular role by not letting people know the real truth at times that may get exposed or like we may not be able to have that kind of full information of what usually goes out there. So like, do you think the film industry has the freedom to tell the politically charged stories without facing censorship or like political pressure?
Just look when the movie started. When we were able to do these kinds of movies?
Yeah.
Yeah. And anytime I have like the question I get maybe from a Congress supporter, I say, why don't you guys make a movie on her? She has an interesting life. Coming from where, reaching where, learning how to wear sari, learning how the political world is functioning, you can make an amazing movie out of it. And the answer is, yeah, but not under the real name.
Yeah.
And that I find very sad. If you are convinced that your leader is a fantastic woman, why do not make a movie on her as well? Why always put the finger on other people who are making these movies? So that is my answer usually. And for the point about, I concentrate on the work. I played all kinds of characters where I felt I didn't have a connection with, and then I worked on that connection because that's my job.
Right.
Story, not my story. They give me a script, they give me the guidelines. I work on not making a mimicry out of a living person when I'm portraying a living person. That's the most important thing. I got interested in politics afterwards. That's a side effect. That is my personal thing. But in itself, who pays it, where the money is coming from, all of this, ये मेरी जिम्मेदारी नहीं है. ये एक्टर की जिम्मेदारी बिल्कुल नहीं है.
Okay. Like, we just have to understand this perspective as well, क्योंकि बहुत से notions होते हैं, because once that script is running out there, once you're preparing for that, like the shoot is being on, there will be certain discussions as well, like between the directors, the producers, and the actors as well. So it usually goes on like, and we never come to know about all these things, because we as an audience, we are just watching it on screen, but the people playing the roles, the kind of narratives that has been shaping into the industry through these kind of movies, it's always a different experience. And to understand this, that prompted me to ask that particular question.
There's a lot behind it because we have workshops before people read the character. You are getting accustomed with the other actors. And then you start shooting. If at any point in the workshop process, and once you have the script, you feel like I should not do this because of my beliefs, the way I see the world and what I want to do, why don't you back out? Why do you shoot the whole movie and then ask me not to put your picture up? We took
Right.
selfies. And then I was asked from a co-actor that I'm not naming, please take the picture down. And I was
Right.
like, well, then why did you make the movie? So that's my problem. I don't have a problem. You can say later on, I did this. I think I misjudged the situation. Maybe this was not a good idea, but saying sorry for doing a character just because you feel you're scared about your career or something. That I find a little like,
Get it.
yeah, why did you do it in the first place if you know? Because you have been in this project much longer than I was. I came in a little later because they couldn't find me first. They couldn't find Sonia Gandhi.
Yeah.
So whatever I do with full conviction. Not about the script or whatever, but I believe in the project and the director, and I listen to him, and I am executing his vision. It's not my vision; it's his vision. So he has all the right to tell me to do a scene in a different way. He has all the right to say to act differently, even though I feel like this scene should be shot in a different way. There can be a discussion, but he's the boss.
Right. And did it ever happen that you had to leave a kind of a project during this kind of a workshop that you talked about, कि शुरू किया workshop में फिर अच्छा नहीं लगा, and then you were uncomfortable and then you left?
Mm-mm. No, never happened with me. I know it happened with other people, but with me, it was like the projects that I was a little tentative about, and I was just maybe looking at the money because I needed at that time money. Those projects used to disappear on their own. It was just like you had one meeting, money discussed, maybe even contract signed, and suddenly the movie's out.
Right.
Due to
And
certain circumstances that I'm
r-
not known.
understand. And Susan, how difficult it is to like, once the movie is out, then there are journalists who are chasing you, are asking some kind of comfortable, uncomfortable questions as well, and at times you have to answer them. At times you tend to avoid those questions as well. Like, so how do you like? Do you feel a burden of like not answering some things onto the screen because you have just
No,
played your part?
I feel the burden that I'm always being like sidelined or kept out of the PR.
Okay.
whatever articles you see, especially after that movie, they came months later after the release.
Right.
So I was kept out of all the plea, and it was told, we got a call. It was not only me alone, it was a lot of actors, and we were all affected by this, that somebody else only wanted to be in the limelight. And so we were not there. So I have more an issue of not getting publicity in India. So I'm kind of loving the whole YouTube scene because you can directly talk to the audience. You have directly somebody who's interested in you, and you don't have any media sitting there behind who can influence it or another person can influence it. So for me, it's
Absolutely.
always like, I was always like very stunned. I'm still very grateful to Ekta ji that she gave me this first character, but I never understood why she never gave me one single article. Literally, you are making a gamble. You're bringing a Firangi Bahu on your top show, Kasauti, and
Yeah.
you're not giving one article. I'm like, कुछ समझ में नहीं आया क्या हो रहा है. So Akhil used to calm me down and said, "Chalo, chalo, dikhte, dikhte." And it was really hard for me to get any kind of publicity, any kinds of articles. It's all coming now.
Right. But
Maybe there is more relaxation. I don't know what the reason is. But if I would take a gamble with somebody, I would just like, hey, I'm doing this. Look at it. People know it. It was not a matter of being known. It was a matter of being, the PR stays, interviews stay. You can see interviews that I gave 5 years ago. You can see interviews that I gave 6 years ago. There is a thing about that.
yeah. पर
Because
कभी
I was so surprised in Radha Mohan, the last TV show I did end of 2023, they actually called and said, hi, we're doing the PR for the production house. We want to do your interview. And I was like, what? I'm not even used to it. So, and in any interview that I've given up to now, questions were always good. What I like to do is pre-read it, not because I think they're trying to write something bad, but they're mixing something up.
Yep.
I have a tendency to be excited and to talk a little fast. So sometimes somebody doesn't understand something. Like in one of my first interviews, very sweet guy, Vijay Shankar. He took my interview. And Suzanne Oakey's honeymoon holiday with Farhan. That was that honeymoon travel movie. And I was like, why are you doing that? He said, that is catchy. I said, okay, ठीक है. But he mentioned that I speak all these languages. And to this day, this haunts me because the languages I learned once upon a time in school and in some special school, but I don't speak them anymore. So he said, she's fluent in Spanish, Italian, French, English, Hindi. And I'm like, to this day, I can't get rid of these lines on my Wikipedia because Wikipedia takes newspaper articles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So कभी एकता जी से पूछने की हिम्मत या फिर जरूरत नहीं लगी कि आर्टिकल क्यों नहीं आया
मैंने
इवन
कभी
आफ्टर
उनसे बात नहीं, कभी एक बार नहीं बात हुई.
अरे वाह
गाइस था कि अंदर एक बार मिले पार्टीज में वगैरह, लेकिन मुझे अवॉइड किया. I don't
ओके
know why. Her mom is a darling. Her mom is really sweet. Shobha Auntie I really like, and she helped me also with so many things. So I don't take it personally. It's just a little bit like,
एब्सोल्युटली
what happened here? Why is it happening? But I was overwhelmed. वैसे भी मैं बहुत overwhelmed थी. They're like हिंदी मैंने सिर्फ 3 महीने का कोर्स लिया ये शूटिंग से पहले.
राइट
और ये बिल्कुल पूरा बे नहीं हुआ क्योंकि उसी टाइम शूटिंग शुरू हुई.
ओके
सेट में कोई नहीं है वो मदद कर सकते प्रोनाउंसिएशन के लिए, क्या, और समझाने के लिए क्या हो रहा है. तो कभी कभी ऐसे सीन्स है, और उसी टाइम तो गूगल भी नहीं था
हाँ
कि मैं गूगल कर सकती हूँ कौन से शब्द है ये मैं कैसे प्रोनाउंस करूँ. तो एक बहुत स्वीट एक्ट्रेस मुझे बहुत मदद किया. साड़ी पहनना आता नहीं है उसी टाइम. So I was like, मैं क्या करूँ. तो they are putting you in a sari and then हर बार वो कुछ हो रहा है या टॉयलेट के बाद then they have to come again and put sari. लेकिन खाना नहीं खा सकी थी
बहुत चीजें
स्पाइस
हैं
की वजह से. तो the Indians are also, you know ना,
या
बालाजी का reputation 15, 16,
एब्सोल्युटली
18 hours.
या
आजकल ऐसा भी नहीं है. Everybody calm down in that respect.
राइट
But
एंड वो जमाना अलग था हम भी देखते थे वो कसौटी जिंदगी के पूरा वो सास बहू साजिश कहते हैं ना कि आज भी
yeah.
घरों में मतलब कहते हैं लीगेसी कैरी कर रहा है
So they introduced me as a negative and they introduced the other girl as a positive, और उसके बाद उल्टा हो गया.
so true cool thing
On
and
memories. But she gave me an entry, she gave me a name, and she got me, like, I got to know people and everything. So I am to this day very grateful to her, even though we never spoke.
Yeah. And even during those days, like the TV or the TV soaps were owned by Balaji, to be very honest.
Was
Most of
all
the,
KKK.
yeah, all KKK. Sab
Kahani, Kyunki,
Kahani,
Kasauti.
Kyoki, Kasauti.
Smriti Irani was like on the other step.
हाँ.
Tulsi.
मिहिर. All
Yeah,
those
I
fond
love.
memories. और वो टाइमिंग में ऐसा होता ना कि सब लोग खाना खा के फिर चलो चिपक गए टीवी पे.
Yes, yes, exactly. And that repeated in our show,
Yeah,
8 o'clock.
right. True that. I just could go back into the memories and I can remember all those things. And like, what's your take on the representation of women in the Indian cinema today? Like, how different it is now?
How different it is to now. Yeah, more women-centric movies, but then again, they're in the hands of people who have been acting up to this age. So I feel like right now, when people come to me, they always want me to play like 60, 70 years old. And I find
Yeah.
it a little early. But if the character is good, I don't mind it. If the character is good, I mean, I played Sonia Gandhi again. It released last year in Yatra 2 in Telugu, where I'm even having Telugu lines.
Yeah.
And otherwise, it's such a big country. It's so
Hmm.
many different movies from all over. That would be a discussion for a long time because then I would have to like see what's the representation because you see OTT, there are a lot of women.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find that it's a very
Yeah.
strong thing. And then you see Bollywood, and that still looks a little bit like that, no?
Huh.
And then South is again something different.
Very different.
Everywhere you have a different kind of showcasing women as well, no?
Yeah.
A Bhojpuri movie will probably stay a Bhojpuri movie. I don't think it will go anywhere. Marathi movies doing big steps.
Right.
Like I'm very fond of Marathi movies. I find they're doing well-rounded projects and really nice characters. And so I had really fabulous things in that to do.
Right. And it also depends on to the storyline of that particular project as well, what they want to portray and how. So it totally depends on that. Again, it's a very different industry. It plays on the trends as well. Maybe you are able to fulfill those particular things as, but the audience is now keen towards the OTT and the kind of content they have been bringing. So I feel that the representation would like be a balanced one in near future as well. And
Yeah.
talking about like you have been playing various roles, so does it ever happen कि कभी कभी रोल के लिए कुछ पर्सनल वैल्यूज या फिर जो एथिक्स होते हैं उस पे कॉम्प्रोमाइज करना पड़ा या फिर आप करते ही नहीं हो?
Okay. You have to. Otherwise, I would be a murderer by now. Couple. Homicidal. Because Queen Helena, killed people right, left, and center. And one of the most difficult scenes that I had to do because I like my co-actor so much, Justin. Sumit Kaul played Justin, my son, and I had to split his throat and give a whole speech. And that day, we both were emotionally very, very taxed. He didn't want to leave the show. I didn't want to that he leaves the show. Nobody wanted him to go because we had just started. And
Okay.
they said, we have to hype it up. We have to show you more dangerous and more evil. So that was a scene where I was like, I don't want to do it. That was literally the one scene in my life where I said, I do not want to do this
All right.
because of
ये
the
वो
personal connection with my co-actor. But
yeah.
you do it. And it has nothing to do with me. I'm not walking around with a knife. No.
नहीं वो अलग ही struggles होते हैं and we just have to be very careful like what it is demanding, how it is gonna affect
I
the
think you're
on-screen.
trying to ask me about. I think you're trying to ask me about method acting as well. I think you're trying
Yeah.
to understand ये कौन सी वाली acting कर रही हूँ. मेरी acting की मेरा on off है, switch on है.
हाँ.
क्योंकि अगर नहीं है ये बहुत dangerous territory है. I do not believe. एक एग्जाम्पल है ये आदमी अभी मैं 3 दिन सोया नहीं है ये कैरेक्टर के लिए कि मैं ये लाइंस डिलीवर कर सकते अच्छी तरह से.
All right.
And my thing is, you're endangering everyone, including yourself. How will you remember lines if you haven't slept for 3 days? Any makeup artist can put makeup on you. You do not have to do all of this, yeah? But there is still this concept of art only can come out of suffering.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that at all because when Akhil passed away, I I did this character and I enjoyed it, but I could not write, I could not read, I could not do so many things because of grief. I feel like I've done my best work when I was really happy. So I don't think that suffering is necessary for an artist to produce good work. I do
Yeah,
not have to cut myself. I do not have to starve myself. I do not have to. There's so many things you can trick online. It's not necessary. So
understood.
I don't believe in that concept.
Yeah, it's better to understand that thing as well, because there's always this perception and how it is going to affect those personal relationships as well, on screen, off the screen. We just have to see like in what way it is going to shape the future course of the journey as well, because then it may put you in those demanding situations as well, and you have to take that
Yeah,
particular
I
call.
mean, a situation can be demanding. I had enough scenes where I had to like be on a horse, and then the illusion was supposed to be that I'm jumping on the other horse. So I still had to do some kind of a stunt. And one of the most craziest things that I remember is that Akhil was crawling on the top of a house without any harness or anything. We were on the fifth floor and it was like he was on a harness and I died. I said, I can't watch this. You guys are mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some things you can trick as well. It's not necessary for an actor to get into danger. It doesn't make the product better. It doesn't.
All right. Now the audience is going to understand how it works.
Oh yeah. Sometimes, sometimes too much reality. And
Yeah. And we always have this assumption as well from the audience perspective, because Susan, when I saw that particular movie, I admired your role. I admired that particular movie, The Accidental Prime Minister. And then we always have like this feeling that everything is sorted in your life. You have been doing great. In my wildest dream, I haven't thought like I'll be recording this episode with you, because the kind of influence you have, the kind of reach you have got. But then this is the gap that we see. So have you ever felt that your personal struggles were invalidated because people assume like कि actors के पास सब कुछ है, उनको कोई किसी चीज की जरूरत नहीं होती है?
not to my face, but I think that's the general census that people think that everything is fine. And I've seen a lot of actors who Mercedes में आ रही है, जा रही है, ये करेंगे, वो करेंगे, लेकिन उनका private life बिल्कुल खराब है, या कुछ struggle कर रही है, या उनकी माँ बीमार है, और ये outline नहीं, we're not showing everything. Sometimes something comes in the press or what's happening in your life, but it's yeah, I guess that people think ये property है because I'm getting a lot of requests for money. Like, I haven't worked since 2023, so I don't. You have to think differently. You have to like plan differently as a self-sufficient. If you're self-employed, वो self-employed लोग हैं, ये सब जानते हैं कि मेरा
Yeah.
पैसे कहाँ से आ रहे हैं, मुझे इन्वेस्ट करनी है, ये स्पेंड करने का पैसे नहीं है. एंड आई थिंक एक्टर लोग बहुत क्रिएटिव लोग हैं, बहुत इम्पल्सिव लोग हैं, तो मुझे लगता है ये ज्यादा शॉपिंग करते हैं या उनका दे थिंक स्पेशली द यंग जनरेशन, वो आते हैं एक टीवी शो में स्टार होने वाले हैं या बन गए हैं, उनको लगता है मुझे दिखाना है कि इतना सक्सेसफुल में है पैसे के माध्यम से. सो दे स्पेंड टू मच. और 2020 का वेकअप कॉल आ गया ना, लोगों के पास
Yeah.
पैसे नहीं थे. ये मेरा रेंट का है, ये मेरा गाड़ी का EMI है. We were sitting at home in our small home in Mira Road, and Akhil and me, and 1 BHK, and we are sitting there and we are safe because we saved money. We could sustain until the next job comes. And it's very important for anybody who starts this business. तुम एक बार नशे मिला सक्सेस का और तुम्हारे पास पैसे है, आधा तो कम से कम साइड में रखो, प्लीज.
हाँ.
Yeah, don't just go out and buy that big car because that big car will not feed you later if something happens.
नहीं, वो हम काफी पढ़ते रहते हैं, एंड वी ऑल फील दैट इट्स क्वाइट फ्लैशी एज वेल, बिकॉज पैसा होगा, बट देयर इज दिस शेल्फ लाइफ एज वेल इनटू द इंडस्ट्री, बिकॉज द इंडस्ट्री इज क्वाइट बिग एज वेल. You never know like who is coming, who is going out there. So we just have to be very mindful. And
I've
abhi
seen a
samjhega logo.
similar trend for I've seen a similar trend for YouTubers.
Yeah,
There are a lot
yeah,
of YouTubers who are bankrupt. They don't have any money just because they want to like become a YouTuber or an influencer or something, and they spend a lot of money, but they don't have any income or not enough income to cover what's going on. So,
right.
but maybe with me, my lifestyle is always a little like subdued. So I don't think people think that I'm that moneyed, or if I have something, then I'm saying I got this from XYZ. So it's, I think with
but
me, it's not really.
but then what's one thing that is on your dream list right now?
work. Work is always on my list. There's nothing that I do. You know, when I was the happiest, when I did two shows at the same time. I did
Okay.
Ashoka and Calculata at the same time for
Yeah.
about 4 weeks. And I was too tired to think. I was just you put so in the moment. You're just in that moment. I love that. So, hi, anybody wants to like work with me, please come. But don't ask me to be a producer. Somebody wrote me a story and he said, you can have the character, but you have to produce the movie. I said, अगर मेरे पास पैसे होते तो, yeah, I would do my own movies. मेरे पास 5 script है, ready है, registered है. तो अगर कोई ना कोई, no, I would not, I can't help, and I also can't help paying for anybody like a hectare of land or something. I would love to help people more. I'm doing something, but I can't do something with in that scale that people come up to me.
Absolutely.
The more I have
So
visibility, see, that's another thing. Now that I'm on YouTube and one of my reels has hit like 18K, then the exposure is also more, so you get more backlash. Yeah.
yeah, वो
But
तो
that's
है.
about my lifestyle or something? No, that's not there. About that I'm stupid or something? Yeah, that's not there.
We don't have to care about that. Once we exist on internet, we are bound to get that. We are bound to grow. So anyway, the way we want to grow, it's good for us. And talking about the friendship into the industry, like who is that one person that profoundly shaped your life?
Okay.
Oh, you did talk
Yeah.
about him.
He was the most influential, the most person who was by my side, pushed me. Yeah.
Right. And we need such people in lives because again, that's a very different journey. You feel comfortable, you know, like there's someone who is you are going to reach out to, and they just
Yeah.
guide you through those particular circumstances. You share the happy moments as well, the joys, the sorrows, everything. So great to know about that. And while playing different roles, Suzanne, it's always like कि जैसे हम बात कर रहे थे कभी कभी ऑन स्क्रीन और ऑफ स्क्रीन का जो होता है मतलब कि पर्सोना होता है वो क्लैश होते
Hmm.
रहता है. सो लाइक डू यू कैरी दैट इनटू वंस यू आर नॉट वर्किंग और लाइक जस्ट ट्राई टू स्विच दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग एंड यू आर द रियल सुजैन?
What you see right now, that's real. And I had, again, Ashok, that was one of the most watershed characters for me. In Hindi, in Sanskritized Hindi, shooting की वजह से, circumstances की वजह से, गर्मी में shoot किया, wig के साथ, costume के साथ, और ऐसे शब्द हैं, ये षड्यंत्र है, उसके पश्चात, आजकल मैं अपना जर्नल में देख रही हूँ, एक मैंने रख लिया और इसमें इतने लंबे लंबे लाइन से ये मैंने कैसे किया मुझे हाँ 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 आई एम लुकिंग एट अभी हार्ट अटैक हो गए so I was scared because up to that point I only played sweet characters or like normal people, yeah. And then a queen, and she's evil. She's literally evil. And I was like, I don't want to lose the love of my audience. Literally, I was scared that people will start hating me. I said, I'm such a non-controversial person. I do not like
Yeah.
fights. I do not like any confrontation. I was like, please. But then, character of a lifetime. So I did it. And without the love of the audience, I had not survived all the stress about the shooting. But I was in the checkout in Thane at Hyper City, and one guy looked at this like, "ये तो मृत्यु दंड देने वाली है."
हाँ.
I was like, oh my God, oh my God. And I smiled at him and he was like, "Mm." But later, the more people came to my Instagram and I interacted with
Yeah.
people, then all that love came. And it was just like, I still have fans from that time. We just had 10-year anniversary on 2nd of February for the telecast, first telecast 10 years ago.
Okay. Congrats.
There were so many people that are still from that time that follow me. Like
Uh,
anytime I post something, the same people send the comments and I answer them. By the way, I do that on social media. If you have anything, you just write to me, not in a DM. I'm drowning in DMs. But if you write a comment, I always answer under that.
Great. And there are people who are following you and your journey. There are people on sets as well क्योंकि like वो उनको देखो वो उनका काम कितना अच्छा है. कभी कभी नाम भी रखते हो कि पता नहीं. But then if there is one advice that you would love to give to the aspiring actors like who wants to break into the industry, totally like me being outsider, मुझे तो पता भी नहीं कि इंडस्ट्री काम कैसे करती है, काम कैसे मिलता है. But then what that advice would be?
It's a little disorganized. It was disorganized years ago. It's still disorganized. Once upon a time, you were going and taking your picture, have a little photo shoot, normal one, not too much touch up, please. And then you were writing your name and your phone number and your address on the back, and you were going from production house to bring these pictures directly to the producer. Nowadays, everything is in the hands of channels and casting agents. So
Okay.
it's I don't really know. I don't really know how to tell somebody because I fell into it. I had some
Yeah.
help. For me, it was Kismat wali baat. Then I was thinking maybe if somebody's still somewhere in the countryside or in a small city, I would say do theater. Do a lot of
Yeah.
theater because theater gives you the background of being able to handle every situation because you're well rounded. You can improvise. You know, if something suddenly not happens on stage, you know what to do. These things help. You know how
Yeah.
to project your voice, clarity, speech. And
Hmm.
for a couple of tips and tricks, Akhil recorded a couple of videos about acting also on my channel under his playlist. And to listen to him, you learn so much. Even if
Yeah.
you don't want to be actor, this is about speech and that you can like express yourself. And there are lawyers who take acting classes, by the way, because it's a little acting happening in the court world. So I know two people who are not they did enough for the acting, they did it to become a better lawyer. So I think it helps anybody the acting because you learn things as well like listen, understand, be in the moment,
Yeah.
react.
Yeah.
So it's beneficial for everybody, I think.
Right. And
I'm
I,
sorry, I keep on plugging my channel, sorry. But it's working so well with, when you're saying something, these things work well. And I feel like he was an underestimated, wonderful teacher. He had a lot of students were following him. But in this day and age, we were not able to, he didn't want to do it online. So
Mhm.
it was very difficult to make people understand you would have to come because we need to see you. We need to like not smell you, but you need to be in front of us to see what chemistry you're having. And
Yeah.
if we teach you online, we cannot catch that. Not the full essence, not the full human being. So he refused to give online lessons. He did these recordings for people to just get a taste for it. But basically, he wanted to teach people directly. And then the problem is that people go by names. So if somebody is
Mm.
having an interview with a big name, they'd rather go there because they think it will help them in the end,
Yeah.
because they will make contact or the person who's giving the classes gives them job. No, they don't. Then they might not even be there.
वो ऐसा है कि
For the
like
two
I
seasons
am,
that you're there, you might not even see them.
yeah, like choosing the top tier college and then someone from the tier 3 college grabbing the lakhs of packages, the package of lakhs.
I mean, if you go to something like Whistling Woods or NSD, I think that's good because you
Yeah,
get contacts here.
you're right.
And give yourself maybe a time limit. Say, I want to try it for 1 year. Don't burn out. Don't be one of the guys who's still roaming around and doing background work with that dream that they will do it. Because the reality is, it's in the hand of a few people.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
And if
And
there's a new generation, you suddenly have all these actors. They can act or they can't act, but their last name is fitting. So
yeah,
it's one of these things.
and even you did talk about the theater thing. I have seen many of the Indian actors and actresses doing theater for the longest period of time. They are fabulous, and we have this like competitions going around in the like theaters and all. So I've seen amazing actors and actresses from the Marathi industry as well, and they have done
Oh yeah,
theater. Yeah,
Marathi theater is outstanding.
outstanding. Yeah, because it's
Really,
very
really good.
unique, very kind of a catchy as well, and so impromptu. And again, you get that kind of a feel like these are the real actors that you have to look up to. So it does
Did this
help.
one reality show. I did this one reality show on Launi,
Uh-huh.
and the guy was preparing, the director after that, he was preparing a whole show that he wanted to take all over Maharashtra by bus. So we had to travel by bus. And he
Yeah.
said, Susanna, there's no money. I said, I want to know if I can do this. So I traveled with this bus. I think we were on the road for 3 weeks or something like this. And we were just going from one, like you in the bus, travel to the location, get out, do your makeup, eat something maybe, then perform, then take the makeup off, go on the bus, drive to the next location. So I went all the way to the like border to south. It was
Amazing.
amazing. I will never forget it, and I can't believe it that I really did this. But it's something that shapes you also as a human being. It's just I can't sleep on these buses. I'm like sliding. They have this fake leather, no? And then you're lying down and you're like going on.
We hope like the experience improves more and more better. Like, but yeah, that has been a great journey. Like traveling across the Maharashtra and doing something like that. It just connects you to the roots, and we have got awesome villages out there. Yeah,
You meet people and they're just so warm and so
absolutely.
nice and they talk to you and I'm like, मला कळलं नाही, फक्त एकच sentence आहे. And they keep on talking to you. हा, ठीक आहे.
चालायचंच.
I had this one practice there, मी काय सांगू, मी कसं सांगू, मला कळलं नाही. So, and then usually they back off, and they keep on. There was this elderly lady, and she kept on babbling with me. And somebody came, "What are you talking to her?" I said, "I have no clue." He said, "I don't understand her. She has some accent, Marathi accent." I said, "Yeah, we're having fun." She held my hand. That was like her mother for the day.
It's amazing. Like these are the moments that we like look out for once you are into the industry, and it just
Yeah.
makes you feel like something is good into it. Something is better going to happen with the people who are going to come into the industry as well. And we did talk about those particular moments, but if you have to narrate any one incident, like or the hilarious thing that you had to do for a role or audition, what it would be, or what was that thing?
You gave me the question, and that one was the only one that I was trying to sit down and think about it. And I don't really. What was scary was in Radha Mohan that I had to shoot a real gun. Like
Oh,
they take real guns and then they put like the blanks in it and
yeah,
everything. And instead of Siege 26, I played with a Jewish hostage. So there were a lot of weapons and it was okay because the windows were open. Here we were on a small plane and I didn't think about it. And they didn't even offer me earplugs or something because my hair was back. So you couldn't even cover that. So they
yeah.
shot this one scene. And I was like coolly like holding it and pointing and I was like pretty like shot it and the sound was like vibrating. It's so loud in an enclosed space. It's unbelievable how loud a weapon is. So I'm taking like 2, 3 breaths and suddenly I started howling and crying. I ran into the next part of the plane and I had like a breakdown because
Oh,
Akhil had just passed away. So it was like 2 months later, I was in front of the camera, or 6 weeks later, I was in front of the camera, and I was so thin. Like I lost so much weight, and my nervous system was also under. So I had this whole breakdown. Everyone was like, "Bachchi, aa rahe hain, hatu, hatu, ye lao, wo lao, thumbs up lao, nimbu pani lao, fish curry lao." And they were just trying to get me. And I said, "Fine, fine, fine." And yeah, that was one. Maybe not hilarious. Maybe
yeah.
hilarious in hindsight, but at that moment it was just very taxing. Like I have
Right.
issues with crackers and loud and everything.
बट रोल के लिए
Not next
बहुत
to
कुछ
me,
करना
please.
पड़ता
Not
है.
next to me, please. I have no problem with Diwali. I love Diwali. It's one of my
Yeah,
favorite festivals. But if you do a cracker, please just move like 500 meters away from me because मैं बर्दाश्त नहीं कर सकती हूँ.
नहीं अभी तो आपके काफी सक्सेस पार्टीज बाकी है.
अरे यार, सक्सेस पार्टी आजकल तो कोई नहीं करते हैं. पुराने जमाने में ये सब
हमें बुला लो.
लेकिन बहुत इतने सारे खूबसूरत कहानियां बता दिया मुझे ऐसे कि सब रिकॉर्ड करनी है सिर्फ बाद में देयर वाज नेवर बाद में.
Like tomorrow never comes. You just have to enjoy the
Yeah,
moment.
yeah,
And
that's true.
coming on to the last part of this episode, like what does the future hold for you beyond acting? I would definitely love to ask. And are there any unfulfilled dreams or ventures that you want to pursue?
I This is a standard answer from mine. I don't try to plan anything here because life has other plans for you.
Yeah,
India always takes you somewhere else. You just have to go with the flow. It's, unfulfilled plans. Nah, there were so many that I still wanted to do with Akhil, but so I'm trying not to plan anything because I'm just planning into in March I'm going to be in Bombay for a week and then maybe in May I will be in Germany, but that's all like maybe
yeah,
because you never know what's happening around you. One
absolutely.
moment you talk to a person, the next moment he dies. So it's
Yeah.
you never know. It's just life is unpredictable.
Absolutely. We just have to live with the flow. And that is the reason I call this show as the glitters of life. We just have to uh, ignite that particular glitters and have to shine bright, because it's now, it's here, the moment we are speaking. It's absolutely great. And I hope like all these insights, all your experience is going to help the industry people out there and the normal audience who wants to know like what happens behind the scenes, on the scenes, and how should one be
We just
perceiving the
scratched the
people.
surface. We just scratched the surface right now, you and I.
Yeah, yeah, right.
But it's a great chat,
Absolutely.
great
And
question.
thank you so much. And it was such a pleasure talking to you and to know about your life in detail, because there are many questions that always will be prompting from my side as well. I wanted those particular answers, and it just gives you the kind of like feeling like how those people work into the industry, how they
Mm.
uh, make a big out of it. And I really hope that you grow more and more into this industry and keep inspiring others as well. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity.
Oh, I enjoyed this a lot, and I like to do these podcasts, especially when somebody is so well prepared and having all sorted out, and is a charming guy. So please follow Listeners of Life. That's my call to everybody who's watching or maybe stumbling over this podcast because of me. And I hope you just subscribe, save, like, go.
Thank you so much, because I enjoy this privilege. Like I'm the only podcaster in to my city. I come from a very small town which is based near to Nasik, so it's
Oh,
a taluka place. So it's very different experience for me to do have this such kind of conversations and to reaching out to a point where people feel कि यार कैसे बात कर ली, कैसे मिला, कैसे कांटेक्ट किया. So
और देखिए ये इतनी बढ़िया कनेक्शन है वहां पे यार ये तो विकसित भारत है डायरेक्टली ऑन स्क्रीन
so it's always those questions are going to pop up once I release this episode, and I'm going to love those questions as well. So thank you so much. I wish you all the best for your future endeavors. Stay happy, stay healthy. Bye bye, take care.
Thank you very much. And I will answer comments. So if anybody has a question about this podcast, I will pop by and I will just look at it and I will answer.
Sure.
Okay?
Yep.
And Rohit, was a pleasure. Take care, stay blessed, and Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram. Thank you.